Welcome back. Thank you for checking out this bonus edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm 12 Kyle. Check this out. All right. So, what I want to talk about on this bonus edition of the podcast is I want to take you back, if you will, to an experience that, many of you didn't really get a chance to experience, just depending on your age. And that is of the era where you actually had to purchase music. What I mean by that is like you had to literally go to the record store and buy an album or buy a CD or whatever, tape, whatever it was that you were going to get, right? So I came to this because particularly for those of you who are watching on YouTube, I'm not going to tell you if you're streaming it somewhere else, I'm not going to tell you to stop and go to YouTube. But if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll have visuals. What I mean by that is like I was walking through my garage the other day, right? And I saw this box. And I'm like, why is this box sitting here? Like the box had been sitting there so long, like I really couldn't remember why it was there. And the closer I got to the box, I realized that the box contained CDs. Like I had this huge CD collection. And I still do. It's just I have no use for the CDs because everything that I owned on CD, I literally can get at my fingertips, on Spotify, right? Or Apple. So it got me to thinking, like, what's in that box? Like, I literally have not opened this box of CDs. And I don't know, it's been a few years. It's been at least 8 or 9 years, maybe. I don't even think Skylar was born. So that'd be like 10 years ago. So I haven't gone in this box. But what I wanted to do was just for, the fun of an episode, I want to go into the box. And what I'm going to do is, again, I haven't opened this box. I'm going to, and the box is literally at my feet. Here's the top of the box. It's an old Office Depot box if you're watching on YouTube. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dig my hand into the box and I'm going to pull out a CD. And whatever CD I pull out, I really feel like there's a story behind either why I purchased it or where I was when I purchased it. So roll with me on this one. So let's get it started. All right. So what I'm going to do is dig down without even looking into the box. You can hear it kind of rumbling. Let me grab a CD. And the first CD that I grab is, if you're looking on YouTube, Goody Mob, Soul Food. Now let me look and see if the CD is actually in here. Oh, much to my surprise, CD's in here. Because I have quite a few CDs where the CD case is there, but there's no CD. What do I remember about purchasing this? I remember this album came out in 1995. So I was still in school at South Carolina State University. And I remember going to the Prince of Orange Mall and purchasing this CD. What I would do a lot of times is anytime I purchased a CD, I literally would, depending on how bad like I was ready to listen to it, sometimes I would literally just purchase the CD, go sit in the car and listen to it before I even went back to the dorm. But in this case, I distinctly remember listening to this one because obviously Outkast had come out and Goody Mob was on Outkast's album. And we knew who Outkast was and we knew who Goody Mob was. So I was really looking forward to, on the strength of them or on the strength of the feature that they had on Outkast's debut album, Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music. There was a song called Get Up, Get Out from Goody Mob. And so I was really looking forward to this album. This album is entitled Soul Food. And it's an incredibly dope album. I do remember, again, listening to it. I remember listening to this. I listened to it in its entirety in the parking lot at the Prince of Orange Mall in Orangeburg, South Carolina, where South Carolina State University is located. But this album brings back a lot of memories, man. Without even thinking about it, like my favorite song, obviously, is Cell Therapy. And what was my other joint? CeeLo's verse on Goodie Bag. Love that verse. But this entire album is a banger. I remember it was one of those albums that everybody got like the first week that it came out. So great memories. And it's the album. I still listen to Soul Food. It's still a dope album. If you follow the podcast, you know I did a review on it a couple of years ago. But dope album. Let's see what else we got here. All right, so let's see what else. Digging here. I'm just digging. And again, I don't know what I'm going to pull out. The next album, Shaquille O'Neal. Can't Stop the Rain. What do I remember about this album? I remember purchasing. No, you know what? I did not purchase this album. I got this album from BMG Music Group. It was a thing back in the day where you would sign up for a penny. You could sign up, and for a penny, you could get like 20 CDs, and you had to get a membership to BMG or Columbia House. I think this one was through Columbia House, but I remember ordering this because I was like, man, and Shaq was Shaq at this time. I want to say this was Shaq's second album. I think it wasn't his first album. Yeah, this one, it wasn't a bad album. Shaq actually can rap. I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, especially some of you younger people, you see Shaq on TNT and he's clowning with Chuck and Ernie and Kenny, but Shaq is a very, very solid rapper. But I remember getting this. I got this on BMG, and so I only paid a penny for it, if you will. And what's funny was, like, you pay a penny for those CDs, and like I never paid any. I mean, like, you literally would fill out a form, send it back with a penny, and you would get 20 CDs. And I never paid anything beyond that. That was it. And I had basically 20 free CDs. Favorite song on this album was Can't Stop the Rain. Shaq and Biggie. Love that joint, man. Biggie did his thing. I remember he said, "My garage, call it CeeLo, 4 5s and 6s. Honey's by the mixes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it." Smoke Out with Leo, Biggie Tarantino, Size Like a Sumo, Frank White, numero uno. Love that joint, man. Again, pretty cool album. It wasn't, it didn't go, I don't know if it went platinum or not, but I copped it, and still in the box. All right, let's put this one over here. Let's see what else we got here. Again, for those of you who are not looking at YouTube, I am basically rummaging through this with my hand in the box so I can grab a CD, and I don't know what CD I'm going to pull. Next one, David Banner, Mississippi, the album. This, I think, was David Banner's debut album. I did not purchase I did not purchase this album. I got it on the strength of the single Like a Pimp, which I love that song. David Banner was jamming on that joint. But I didn't purchase this album. What's the best way I can describe this? I got this one on a 5-finger discount. I think the statute of limitations have statute of limitations passed? Have the statute of limitations? Okay, we're good. Yeah. So yeah, I did not pay for this one. What I did was I had a friend who worked at a local music store, and I gave him $5, and he put 7 CDs in the bag, and this was one of them. Not really a lot of memories from this album. I do remember listening to it, but I mostly listened to Like a Pimp. And that was the thing, like in the 90s, like if you got something, or in the early 2000s, if you got something for free, I mean, like it didn't really matter how much you listened to it because you didn't invest any money into it. So, yeah, David Banner. It's a pretty good album, though, from what I can remember. Let's see what else we got here. Let's dig deep, because I know there's some mixtapes in here too. Oh, wow. Nappy Roots, Watermelon, Chicken, and Grits is the name of the album. I didn't buy this. I didn't buy this album either. Actually, my then girlfriend, now wife, Sharice, bought this one for me. I don't really remember much about this album. It was okay. It was a country, down south album. What was the jam on this joint? Was it Po Folks? I can't remember what the jam on it was. Honestly, I didn't listen to this album that much. It was okay. I gave it a couple of spins, but didn't really get a lot of burn in the Nissan Maxima. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Oh wow. Mariah Carey. Kind of scary. This is a cassette. Well, this is a CD single because it's the Heartbreaker CD single. Album version featuring Jay-Z, and then there's two versions. There's an album version featuring Jay-Z, a no rap version, and then the remix with the Brat, Missy Elliott, and DJ Clue. This album again was not purchased. This album was my girlfriend's album, so it's recent. I don't know how I got it in my collection, but hey, it's okay. Oh, whew, this one right here. This next album, The Firm, the album, with Nas, Foxy Brown, AZ, and Nature. Oh, I remember this one all too well. Another one that I copped from Prince of Orange Mall in Orangeburg, South Carolina. I really like this album. I really, really like this album. I know a lot of people dumped on it. They didn't think that Dre's production fit, what they were rhyming about or whatever like that. But there was a lot of anticipation for this album. You got Nas, you got AZ, you got Nature, you got Foxy Brown, and you got not Jay-Z, Dr. Dre and the Trackmasters doing the production. Go back and listen to that album. I don't think that album is as bad as people think it is. I think the expectations probably were way too high for this album, but I think this is a very, very solid album. You go back and listen to it. It's not a dud. I don't know what people expected. I guess when you team Nas with AZ and Foxy Brown and Nature, and you have Dr. Dre and the Trackmasters doing all the production, I think people had super, super, super expectations that it would be commercially appealing. It wasn't. It was more of a street record from what I remember. But Phone Tap was my joint. And I've listened to this album a couple of times in the last few years, man. It still bangs. I don't know why the expectations were so high, but this was a dope album. Dope album. Let's take a look. All right, so now I go look. Okay. The next album, Juvenile, the G Code. What was on this album? This is not my album. I know that I have this album. And when I say album, I mean CD. I know I have it, but this isn't mine. I didn't purchase this. But it's in my CD collection. Maybe it's my wife's. I don't know. We were living together at the time. Who knows? All right, so let's see what else we got here. As we dig through the crates. The God MC, Rakim Allah, The Seventh Seal. I remember this one very well. Bought this. I had very huge expectations for this album. Another one that I remember just playing over and over and over again. I was a little surprised with the production. Rakim, not with Eric B at this time. This album came out in 2009. It was a good album. I think it could have been great had he had better production, which has been kind of a knock to, if you will, to some degree for Rakim when he wasn't with Eric B. But I thought it was solid. The production, some songs really Rakim carried. And you got to remember with Rakim, you don't necessarily need over produced beats, but you want to make sure that you got something that's jamming. And that the production needed some work, but Rakim was flawless throughout, so I didn't have a problem with it. All right, so let's see what else we got here. No R&B, just we did grab a Mariah joint. And I know that at one point I had these CDs in some type of order. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Okay. No, let's pull this one. I grabbed two, but I'm gonna pull the one off the top. A personal favorite, a really, really dope album, Commons B. This one was, if I'm not mistaken, exclusively produced by Kanye West. He was the executive producer. Love this album. This intro to B, man, I love that. That might be one of my favorite intros on any hip hop album. It's dope, man. This is dope. This is arguably Common's best album. What can I say? I mean, Kanye blazed it. It's only 11 tracks. The people, I'm sorry, Real People. They say It's Your World. All of these tracks are dope tracks from start to finish. I don't really have a favorite. I take that back. If I had to have a favorite, I'd probably say The Corner. But it's a dope, one of my favorite. It's probably my second favorite Common album behind Like Water for Chocolate. But dope album. I remember purchasing this one and I played it. Let me see if the CD's in here. Yeah, CD's in here. And if you can see, it's kind of scratched up, but still plays though. Look at the front. Yeah, the front's kind of damaged, but it still plays, man. Still plays. Common B. Love that joint. Grab a couple more. See what else we got here. See what's in this box. Oh no, I grabbed another Common album. So let's grab what's on top. Baylor, are you looking? Michael Jackson Thriller. Obviously, this album came out a long time ago, but everybody had the CD, everybody had the album, everybody had the tape. What can I say about Thriller that you don't already know? Let's see. Well, we've already established that it's not better than Purple Rain, but but I digress. But crazy, I remember buying that just as a collector's item because I needed a CD. I didn't have a Michael Jackson. I mean, I had this on cassette tape. I had the vinyl, and I still have the vinyl somewhere at my mom's house. But I needed it. I needed to have the CD, and you can't go wrong with Mike, man. Thriller was it was a dope album. It was incredible. It was, it's probably one of those few records that everybody and their mama had, or at least purchased at least once or twice in their lifetime. And like I said, I know I had the tape, I have the CD, and I got the vinyl. So Mike, and I want to say this isn't even my first copy. This might be my second or third copy as far as CDs, because you know how it goes. I mean, you buy a CD as popular as Thriller, somebody comes over and borrows it or whatever like that, or they say, man, let me make a dub, and they never give it back. But yeah, man, you can't beat Baylor, man. Come on. Well, I mean, Purple Rain does, but shout out to Baylor. Let's see here. This one right here, Capital Punishment from Big Pun, the debut album from Big Pun. Man, let's see in here. Yeah, the CD's in here too. Man, I played this joint. Oh my gosh, I played this to death. Super lyrical with Black Thought. You Ain't a Killer, Dream Shatterer. I mean, Pun and Fat Joe, the Fat Joe skit, the skit with was that on this album? Let me see. Was that the Funk Flex skit? Hilarious. Packing the Mac in the Back in the Act. Yeah, man, I love this album. Rest in peace, Big Pun. Great album. I remember buying that, and I think I bought this one at the crib. I think I bought that when I was at home on break. But I do remember buying it in Florence at Ray's Records. Shout out to Ray's Records in my hometown of Florence, South Carolina. And Capital Punishment stayed in my 6-disc changer rotation in my Nissan Maxima. Let's grab a few more before we get out of here. Let's see. Let me go deep in the box. Hang on a second. Okay, so I pulled a couple. This first one is not mine. This was definitely my girlfriend's who I lived with. This one's called Escape Traces of My Lipstick. And I can tell you distinctly that this is my girlfriend's, well, my wife now, CD, because I didn't like Escape. I never was a fan, never particularly cared for him. This is hers. Somehow, some of her CDs ended up in my collection. This must be hers too as well. This is Beyonce. What is this? What's the name of this album? Beyonce. Oh, there's no CD in here. This is Beyonce's album with If I Were a Boy, Halo, Broken Hearted. Again, this isn't mine. It ended up in my case, but Beyonce, she all right, she cool. Oh, this one right here. This next one. The Band. Bad Boys, The Band. That was the group that Puffy created for TV, and they made an album. Which really wasn't a bad album. I remember actually going back again to the Prince of Orange Mall, purchasing this album. It wasn't bad, man. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's actually pretty deep. No, I didn't get this from Prince. I bought this at Tower Records. That's where I got it from. Because this was 2003. Yeah, it wasn't that bad, man. The band, they had some songs. They had a couple of joints on here. I liked them. I don't know necessarily what happened to all of them, but yeah, they were cool, man. They were solid. Let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna grab a couple more. Let's see. All right, so let's start from the top. This one right here is a pretty popular one. I think you guys have heard of this guy. This is The Blueprint from Jay-Z. Incredible album. One of his best albums. It's debated whether or not this is a 5 mic album. I don't think it's a 5 mic album because Hola Ho Vito is on there. But I love this album. Song Cry, incredible. Probably one of my favorite songs on the album. Heart of the City is another one. Kanye West production and Just Blaze, crazy on this album. This was his bounce back album. This was, we heard Takeover and we thought it was over for Nas, but Nas came back. But still, incredible album nonetheless. Love it. Still play it to this. Let me see. I actually bought this album twice. And as you can see, the CD case is empty. So that means somebody got my CD. We'll do 2 more. This one right here, Love Her. Soldier of Love, Sade. How can you not like Sade? Like, I don't know anybody that doesn't like Sade. But this album is cold. Soldier of Love is on this joint. Long Hard Road, Bring Me Home. There's no song, there's no skips on this. I love this album. I love all the Sade's album. I'm just a huge fan. They got major play. Last but not least, I don't even have a cover for this one because the cover got stolen, which means the CD's not in there. But I can look on the back. America's Most Wanted, Ice Cube. My personal favorite Ice Cube album. One of the greatest West Coast albums, Baylor. I know you're listening. Man, favorite tracks. Once Upon a Time in the Projects, Endangered Species with Chuck D. Just to name a few. But yeah, this joint, and it's got skits on it like JD's Gafflin. Man, I bought this. This album was 91? So I was in school. I bought this at Tower Records as well. I just remember playing this over and over and over and over again. Like I never got tired of this album. This album, I listen to it on Spotify all the time, like at least once or twice a month. It's that dope. And a lot of the stuff that Ice Cube was talking about is still relevant to this day. And, Ice Cube's one of my favorite MCs, particularly from that left coast. But yeah, man, that's a dope ass album. If you don't have that album, get that album. Let's fish for a couple more. Let's see what else we got here. I'm surprised I haven't pulled up any mixtapes. Okay, so I grabbed a few, so I'll just pull out two more. One. What is bullshit? No, this is real bullshit. This next one, Unfinished Business, Jay-Z and Robert Kelly. I'll be honest, in spite of how I feel about Robert Kelly, I didn't like this album. I didn't like the first one, to be honest. I didn't particularly care for the idea of Jay rhyming and him singing. This one right here wasn't as bad as the first one. Well, no, I take it back. The first album wasn't that bad. What was that? What was the joint on here that I like? Body. Was that Body? Was Body on here, I think? I guess that wasn't on here. Big Chips might have been the joint that I like, but it's only like maybe 2 or 3 songs that I play off this album. This wasn't a good album. I mean, the idea of Robert Kelly and Jay-Z, bad idea from the start. It just didn't work, didn't fit. I've made it clear about how I feel about Robert Kelly, so may he rest in jail. But it wasn't a good album. I mean, if we're being honest, I don't know a lot of people that like that album. But maybe you do, maybe you don't. Last album up before we get out of here. As I look and see, there's no CD in the case, so that means somebody probably stole it. It is the debut album from Guy, entitled Guy. This had to come out in what, 80? This came out like 88. So I know I bought this at Tower Records. And I played it on my little CD on my Walkman. Shout out to the Walkman. I played on my Walkman every single day. Teddy's Jam, You Can Call Me Crazy, Round and Round, Piece of My Love, Spending the Night, Goodbye Love. Come on, man. The only track, and you guys, I think we did a podcast on this. The only track on here that doesn't need to be on here is My Business, which is terrible. It's the last one. The song is awful. But other than that, 1 through 9, crazy. But yeah, man, you can't beat Teddy's Jam. You can't beat Guy. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to, particularly those of you who are watching on YouTube, there'll be the YouTube link is in the description box, so you can check that out. But I wanted to just put it out there, man. I wanted you guys to see how things are when sometimes you just dig into the box, and it felt good to go through the box. I see a couple of now that I can actually look at the box. I see Illmatic, which the CD is not in there. I see T.I. What T.I. album is that? Oh, that's King. That wasn't that good. Reasonable Doubt is in here, and it's empty, I'm sure. Freeway. Oh, the Freeway album's good. Rough Riders. And in spite of what you may think, there's a lot of R&B stuff. I see Erykah Badu's albums, the first 2 albums, Mama's Gun right there. So there's quite a few. I just wanted to randomly pick albums and give you the story, because I think every album, particularly for those of us who actually purchase music, who had to leave the house to get music, there's a story behind each album or CD or tape that we bought, and there's a memory. And I think, as we move along toward the digital era and Spotify and Apple Music and, things of that nature, where streaming, you kind of lose those things. But I'm a retro kind of guy, as you can tell, and I don't mind going back to the essence of what I fell in love with as far as music is concerned. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This one was fun. I may do this again, but it's a lot of CDs in this box. I wish I could pan the camera over here and let you see it. I had at least 1,000 CDs, and this is just one box. So I've got, I want to say like 4 other ones. I just happened to grab this one because it was the least heaviest one in the garage. So I'm going to end the podcast now, put it back in the garage, and who knows, maybe there'll be a podcast, a number 2 podcast, and maybe I'll have somebody else on it. We'll talk about the CDs once I pull them out the box. That's going to do it for me. Again, thank you for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm your boy, 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5G.